Man, in the last couple of weeks, I've been planning, trying to get ready to, start my streaming journey, man. Like it's not been easy. It's been a ding dong battle. I've been making researches, asking questions, because it's one thing to start a journey, but it's another thing to do it correctly. So today I have begin, and to be honest, I could sit here today and give you like 10 to 15 reasons why I shouldn't be here to the streaming. But I guess that's what differentiates people who get things done and people who don't get things done. That's what differentiates winners and people who are not winners, because if you're a winner, you always, try to find a way to get things done. And man, I'm super excited. I'm super excited to be here. I'm super really, really happy because I've been like a lot of things, people who don't get things done, they always find excuses. They could like, this is not good. I need to get this material. I need to get this equipment. I need to do this. I need to do. But the truth is that you just have to start. You just have to start. That's just the main thing. And today, this is my first stream, and I'm super excited. That I have really kickstarted this journey. And firstly, I want to introduce myself to you guys, to those who don't know me, because I think it's imperative that you guys know who I am and the kind of person that I am, and like you guys at least not more, but maybe at least a bit about me. So firstly, I'm a Nigerian, but it's not just a regular Nigerian. I used to say that I'm a vintage Nigerian. So I am not condescending and I don't point things. But I consider myself an orator. And people have been asking me, how do you get so confident, in front of the camera? How do you get so confident speaking in podcasts and you don't really get shy and all that? Man, the reality is that all my life, I have always seen myself as someone who's going to be a public speaker. I don't know why. When I was young, when I was I think 15 or 14 or so, I pursued a career in football. I used to play football, so my dream was to be a football player. So I always visualized myself being interviewed and all of that. I was like, I would stand in front of the camera. I would just like answer questions, ask myself questions. I would still answer the question, and I was always doing that, and that helped me to kind of develop that sort of confidence where you can express yourself the way you want and all that. It started many years ago, so that's why I can actually sit in front of the camera. I don't mind. I can stand in front of thousands of people. I can speak. I can express myself the way I want. There's nothing like camera shy, whatever, whatever. So, and yeah, that's it. So, firstly, I'm a Nigerian. I I come from the eastern part of Nigeria. I'm an Igbo guy. I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria. So in a family of seven, I'm the last child, and I've always been someone who has taste for good life. I've always been someone who I want to live. I want to explore. I want to achieve like big things. So I I left high school. When I left high school, like I think I'm 20 many years ago, like 10 years ago or so, I left high school. And when I left high school, I remember having this conversation with my dad. My father wanted me to go to school because my father loved education. Sadly, my father is late. I have a lot of, admiration for my father for who he is and everything he's achieved, all his life. So my father loved education. He wanted me to go to school, but sorry, after my high school, I had other plans. My dream was to be a football player. So I told my dad, I remember this conversation I had with my dad is something that I remember fondly. I had a conversation in the balcony. I was telling my dad I want to play football. So I thought, you know, combining education and football it's gonna be like too much for me. Imagine going to lectures and coming back, and then you have to go to training and all of these things. I thought it was too much. So I said, nah, I wanted to play football. I just want to focus on football and everything. People who know me know how much I love the game. I've always been, I don't know how to describe myself when it comes to my passion for the game. And so I pursued a career in football for literally 10, 11 years. All my life was football, 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 going to training, picking up the balls, going to the football pitch where we live, Obuzo Field, St. Thomas. I was always going there training alone. I have my, football training equipment. So I was always going there training, trying to get myself ready, and I did everything I could, but I didn't get to live my dream with something when I think about it. Yeah, bro, greetings. And So with something, when I think about it, it's actually it's hurtful, absolutely hurtful. Not just because I didn't live my dream, but the fact that I gave everything. Yo, Steven, bro, I see you. For the fact I gave everything, I didn't get to live my dream is something that really hurts me. I also missed a lot of opportunities. I mean, there were times when my brother wanted me to go into business with him. I wasn't really interested. Everything was football, football, football. I just wanted to play football. And looking back right now, do I regret my decision? Sometimes I don't know. Like a part of me feels like maybe I should have, combined education and football. I should have gone to school. And I don't know, but maybe the reason why I feel that way is because I didn't get to live my dream. Maybe that's why I'm like, But the reality is that not living my dream hurts me, but a part of me is still like it's a part of me is still calm because I know I gave everything. It's not like I was just like not doing anything. I gave everything. I was a workaholic. Everyone who knows me knows how much I was going out there training, and I did everything I could. I trusted people who I shouldn't have trusted. I had people sponsors. Gave me promises. They would do this, they would do that, but they didn't get to do or keep these promises. And those promises and that really, I'm not blaming nobody for not living my dream. It's my dream. But when people give you promises and you trust them, it can actually, I mean, it has some sort of impact on you. And so I have always been a football lover. I've given everything and I didn't get to live my dream. Yeah, bro. Yeah, football didn't work, man. And it's something that really, it's a shame. It's a shame because I always felt that I was destined to play football. I always felt like that was my calling. But the reality is that we can't always question God. Sometimes you do things or you think in your head that this is how life gonna be, but God has a different purpose for us. So regardless of whatever happened, I'm still grateful for the life that I have. So and this is one of the reasons why I decided to I when I was doing podcasting, I was like, I wanted to help young football players out there who want to play football in the highest level. So they don't make the same mistake that I made because I thought if I focus on football, if I give everything, that I'm gonna be successful. But the reality in life is that you can. I was watching a podcast some time ago, and I learned something from that podcast. And the guy in that podcast he said we are lying to our kids. He said we tell our kids that if they work hard, if they make good grades, they will gonna be successful. But the reality is that that's not true. I mean, you can give everything, you can work hard, you can do everything you can, and still not be successful. And that's the reality. Sometimes success is giving. Sometimes you it takes someone to like see you and like, oh, I want to help this guy. Oh, he has what it takes, and that person gonna push you to the level that you want to get to. Sometimes it's not always about the quality, it's always about the effort that you put in. Sometimes it's being lucky to find someone who really want to take you to that level. And so yeah, that's how it is. And the reality is that for someone like me, I've always tried to find new opportunities. Football didn't work. All my life in the last 2, 3 years, I've been doing a couple things. I've moved to Thailand, trying to find new opportunities. I've started podcasting and now I'm streaming. That's how life is. I don't get wallowed. I don't get myself. I don't get stuck wallowing in regret. Football didn't work and all of that. Okay, now that's the end of my life. No, that's not true. So I'm here right now, finding new opportunities, trying new things, putting myself out there. Getting seen by people. And all of that. So definitely, I'm gonna get success. It's just a matter of time. And so, like I said, I'm a Nigerian, and I've always wanted to make sure that I could be someone who imparts, I could be impactful in our society. That was the reason why some months ago, I went out there and I distributed food to people. I shared some meal to people who are homeless, people who might be struggling with meal, and who don't know where the next meal, would come from. So I went through a period in my life where I struggled with basic things. When I was in Mozambique playing football and all that, it was difficult. That was the most difficult period in my life. There were days we struggle with basic things and all that, but thank God for the life we have today. So those experiences taught me empathy, taught me compassion, taught me kindness. So all my life, I'm always trying to find new ways, to be a better person, so I can give back to the society. Because I felt like back then when I was going through difficulty, I felt like God was trying to teach me something. And everything that happened in my life now, looking back right now, I think God He wanted to teach me something. And and what I learned from the situation, when I went through a period in my life where I struggled with things, was God wanted me to be someone who can, give out to the society. And every now and then when I can, I always want to give to people. So that's who I am. And so, and the essence of this whole journey is that this is gonna be IRL streaming, in real life streaming. So I'm going to go to places, and have interactions with people, and also try to create moments, and certain things, and it's going to be educational. It's going to be interactive. So whenever I come live, I want to interact with people. I want to be able to, we can learn new things, and be the best version of ourselves. And so, yeah, everyone who I would say that I would, if you ask me, I would appreciate if you guys can, support me, and follow up, and maybe subscribe to my channel. That would mean a lot to me, because I feel like, and the essence of life is to support each other. If someone have a certain idea or certain goals, and they are dedicated, they are committed to it, you can support them, you can help them, and to achieve their goals and all that. So I'm always out here trying to find ways on how I can be impactful in our society, or how I can, be a positive change in our society. So I always think maybe someday I could set up an organization where we can, render help to people who are struggling with this and all that. I think that's gonna be. I feel that's my purpose. I feel like that's what God wants for me, because everything, the period when I struggled with food back then, when I was playing football, I was young. I had a sponsor back then, Mr. Ross from Scotland, who was sending me money. But then we had period when we struggled with, and getting money from, when I struggled with getting money from him due to YouTube. Sorry, due to Western Union restriction. Sorry. So Western Union restricted me, and I couldn't get money from Mr. Ross, and it was the most difficult period in my life, like I've mentioned before. So I learned a lot of things from that situation. And right now, so I want to be someone who can, be a positive. And the truth is that you can't help everyone, but the people who you can be able to, touch their life, impact their life, just try to help. So sometimes I can also, and this swimming is also going to be, sometimes I will talk about football too. Talk about, and football. Try to help young football players out there, so they don't have to make the same mistake that I made. I thought not going to school back then was a good idea, but looking back right now, I think that was a big mistake. And so, if you have an opportunity to go to school, please go to school. Football is a sport where no matter how good you are, it's not guaranteed. You can be the best player in the world, but if you don't get that luck, if you don't like, if someone doesn't see you and say, "You, I want to help you. I want to take you to that level," you might play everything, go to places and all that, and still not live your dream. So it's important that everyone who is trying to pursue a career in football, have this at the back of their mind, that there is no guarantee that you're gonna make it. So you need to have maybe like a backup plan or second option and all that. Having a backup plan doesn't mean that you have already, that you're already thinking failure, or you're already thinking that you're not gonna make it. I mean, it's not, nothing in life is guaranteed. Right now, I am right here speaking to you guys. I may sleep today and not wake up. That's not my prayer. But I mean, but that's life, So nothing is guaranteed in life. So whenever you are trying to try new things, or going to a new journey, try to have this at the back of my mind, that it just always won't go the way you plan it. So, but having a second plan gonna help you. So when the first plan doesn't work, then you can, have something to fall back on. If not the fact that I am a workaholic, I am someone who always trying to find new ways to get success. Maybe my life would have been an absolute shambles right now, because I know a lot of my friends who they were playing football with me. Some of them, with all due respect, the little education that I have, some of them didn't have it. So some of them didn't get to, like I can actually come out right here. right here as I'm doing right now, and express myself, say things the way I want. A lot of them can't. I mean, some now they didn't get to live their dream, which was playing football. So some of them don't really know what to do. They don't really know the next option, the next plan. Just like their life is like, you know. So don't like put all your eggs in one basket. It's amazing. Football is a sport that I always love. I will literally for the rest of my life. But not living that dream also hurt me. So I want to use all of those experiences to help young folks out there. If you want to play this game, give everything at the end of, but also have it at the back of your mind that it's no guarantee. That it's no guarantee you're gonna get to that level. So if you have other things, maybe a job or you have an opportunity to go to school, go to school. I regret not going to school. After my high school, my father loved education so much. My father was telling me, any level that you want to attain, I'm gonna make it happen. But I said no. I wanted to play football. You know, Now I played football for 11 years, or more than I think 11 to 12 years. I was pursuing my career. I didn't get to live that dream. So what now? So if, like I said, if not the father, I am someone who I'm a workaholic. I work hard. I try to find new opportunities all the time. I'm not like I'm relentless. Every day I'm looking for new opportunities. Every day I'm looking for new ways to be a better person, to grow, to get to my dreams. Even if I didn't get to live my dream, the way I wanted, which was play football, maybe I can do other things. And so right now I am urging every young football players out there who want to play this game to the highest level. Please don't just focus only on football. Have other options, in case it doesn't work, so you can have something to fall back on. And especially coming from places like in Africa, where we don't have certain opportunities that people in Europe have. I mean, nobody send you, bro. Nobody send you in Africa. Nobody really give a shit about you. So nobody is giving you any salary every month or making, or you have a place where you can stay if you can afford rent. I mean, in Africa, you are literally on your own. So in Europe, most people, when they don't have a job, the government, provides a place for them. The government provides a place for them where they can, housing, food. Some of them get money every month. In Africa, nobody's giving you shit. So if you put all your eggs in one basket, believing that football gonna work, at the end of the day, it don't work. What else can you fall back on? Absolutely nothing. So I mean, go to training, give everything, but have it at the back of your mind that this sport is not guaranteed, man. Out of 1,000 people who go for a trial, only five out of them might make it. That doesn't mean the other 900 plus are bad players. Sometimes it just don't want to happen. I mean, it's not meant to be, and that's life. So, guys, and this is my first stream. I'm super excited to begin this journey. Like I said, there are many reasons why I shouldn't be here today. But what differentiates winners and losers is winners always find a way to get things done. I was sitting here, I was asking myself question, the background is ego, this, I was like, fuck it, I have to start this, I have to start. You just have to start. Start. You don't need to have the best of equipment. Start. Get things done. Start. So, but losers, they will sit here and they will, blah, blah, blah. This is not good. The camera is not good. The camera is not nice. And they will not start. And before you know, that idea that God gives you will just die off. So sometimes God always put certain ideas in our head. And now it's left for us to, get in action to bring it to reality. But we sometimes, we are like, oh, but I don't have this, but I need this. I need to get this before I started, before I start. At the end of the day, you will start, and that becomes, and I wanted to do this before, but I didn't do it. So I have started my live streaming. It's your boy Billy, and you know what that means, nigga. That's what's up. So if I want to go live, I'm always gonna put it out there, like some sort of notifications, and also in my community, I have a community on YouTube, so we're always gonna put out updates and all that. So I'm gonna go to places, I'm gonna stream, interact with people, create moments and all that. So to every one of you who has like I have like I think 3 or 4 people watching this live now. I really appreciate you guys coming on here, supporting me, leaving comments and all that. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I'm absolutely buzzing right now because it's different. Like it's not just about people saying they got you, but it's also about people showing it, in their actions, that they actually care about you and they actually want you to get success. So hey, it's Billy, and we gonna make this like, bro, like the vibe I'm gonna bring is gonna be different, like something you guys haven't seen before. I'm bringing a different type of vibe. So stick with me and let's do this. It's your boy Billy, and when I say Billy, and you know what you say, do you know what you say? That's what's up, guys. I'm out. See you guys later.